At noon, the fate of an Oahu man accused of killing his wife's lover will soon be in the hands of a jury. The prosecution and defense are wrapping up their closing arguments today in Eric Thompson's second murder trial. The East Honolulu contractor is accused of killing Waipahu acupuncturist John Tokuhara back in 2022 after prosecutors say he discovered Tokuhara was having an affair with his wife. Prosecutors are trying to convince the jury that Thompson is the only one who had the motive and means to execute the murder, while Thompson's attorney says that he was nowhere near Tokuhara's clinic at the time of his death and that there are other possible suspects because Tokuhara had previous relationships with other married women.
This was not a robbery gone bad. This was personal. This was somebody who wanted to kill John Tokuhara and to maim his face. The defendant's demeanor on the stand showed you that he had to constantly think about what his answer was going to be because he had to remember all the other details he had previously provided because his testimony is false. It is not true.
Renzo for microscopic comparisons, you know, the grooves, okay? And her conclusions, Eric Thompson's rifles were not used in this shooting. The shell casings that were found at the scene do not match the grooves when I fired similar ammunition from his rifle. No match is not the murder weapon.
Thompson's first trial in 2023 ended in a mistrial when the jury could not reach a unanimous verdict. We'll be monitoring this and bring you any new developments as they come in. The Honolulu Fire Department has placed a battalion chief on leave after he was accused of sex assault. The 49-year-old was arrested Tuesday afternoon. Sources tell us the alleged sex assault happened last Friday at HFD's main station in Kaka'ako. We are not naming the firefighter because he has not been charged, and police have released him pending investigation. But in a statement released last night, HFD's chief said in part, quote, "I want to assure the public that we take allegations of sexual assault very seriously. We are cooperating fully with law enforcement and we will continue to uphold the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and conduct for our department." Well, 2 people are dead after 2 small planes collided at Arizona's Marana Regional Airport this morning. Police say both planes, a Lancer and a Cessna 172, were occupied when they crashed into each other just before 8:30 a.m. Authorities are still trying to figure out what went wrong, but say the airport does not have a traffic control tower and operates as an uncontrolled field. The NTSB is investigating the crash. Meanwhile, investigators say the black box flight recorders from the Delta Airlines plane that crashed while landing in Toronto has been sent to a lab for analysis. All 80 people on board the flight from Minneapolis survived. Tom Hansen has some of their stories.
It's upside down.
Survivors of Monday's terrifying plane crash say they are still in disbelief.
It hits you. I'm in a plane crash. I'm in an actual plane crash.
Come on! When the plane stopped, passenger Matt Cunningham sent his family a simple message. Plane crash, please pray.
Talking to my dad today, he said those 15 minutes from the time he got that text until he got the next one with some photos that I took away from the plane were 15 tough minutes.
Canada's Transportation Safety Board said Tuesday the plane's black box flight recorders were sent to a lab for analysis.
The crew on board the plane, our Endeavour crew, performed heroically, but also as expected. This is what we train for.
In an exclusive interview with CBS Mornings Wednesday, the CEO of Delta Airlines said the flight crew was experienced.
All of these pilots train for these conditions. They fly under all kinds of conditions at all the airports in which we operate.
As for Cunningham, after waiting at the airport for hours, he rented a car and started driving back to his family outside Minneapolis.
What's the first thing you're going to say to your family?
Nothing. I'm just going to hold him.
And Cunningham reunited with his family late last night. He says that his kids made him a welcome home cake. Officials are still investigating the cause of the crash, but they do say that communications between the pilots and the airport tower appeared to be normal as the plane approached. Tom Anson, CBS News, Toronto, Canada.
To politics, the Trump administration plans to impose even more tariffs, this time on auto imports, semiconductor chips, and medicine. Those tariffs could start as early as April at around 25%. The president says this will incentivize companies to manufacture their goods in the U.S. instead of abroad. Car buyers are expected to be hit the hardest, with prices increasing by thousands of dollars. It could also drive up drug prices and affect companies like Nvidia and Apple, who import chips. And there is pushback from some on Capitol Hill as the impact of President Trump's cuts to just about every federal agency begins to be felt. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
Protesters rallied outside the Department of Health and Human Services after a couple thousand employees at the Centers for Disease Control, National Institutes of Health, and the Food and Drug Administration were let go in the last week.
Congress, do something.
Yes, we're looking for a few good Republicans to come over and join the Democrats and overturn this radical assault on science and health care in America.
So far, most Republican lawmakers say the cuts at HHS and many other federal agencies are needed.
Our national debt has become a national security issue. And we understand that we're going to have to make some changes, some difficult changes. But at the same time, we have the responsibility to the taxpayers and the American people to get our financial burdens in order.
While most Republicans are siding with the president, a few have voiced concerns the cuts are indiscriminate and could jeopardize safety. The U.S. Department of Agriculture admitted it had accidentally fired some veterinarians and animal health technicians working to prevent the spread of bird flu. The agency said it was working to swiftly rectify the situation and rescind dismissal letters.
Workers were let go who are working on avian flu, and the fact that workers have also been fired who are responsible for nuclear safety shows that we need a far more careful approach.
The acting head of the FAA also issued a letter to employees saying that while some newer employees were let go last week, the agency continues to hire air traffic controllers and other safety professionals. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
And federal wildlife agencies have been firing probationary employees with little notice as part of the government downsizing. But the move by the Trump administration is already facing legal challenges, and Hawaii's governor is offering to hire those who lost their jobs. Casey Lund has more on this.
Letters have been sent out to thousands of federal employees. It's difficult to know just exactly how far-reaching this will end up. It could end up eventually affecting hundreds of thousands of federal workers. Right now, what we know is that it's mostly probationary employees or employees that just maybe changed jobs. So those are ones that have been let go. But again, it could have huge impacts, especially here in Hawaii. By the way, Hawaii is home to more than 10 national wildlife refuge sites, like the one that you see here in Pearl Harbor. Hawaii News Now has learned that at least 11 federal workers who take care of these type of lands were let go. One man we spoke to says he was blown away when he learned he was fired. He didn't have a small job either. He was responsible for maintenance at multiple refuges, including the habitats and facilities, even the bunkhouses for some of the workers who were employed there.
I was in the middle of moving some heavy equipment. My coworker said, "Hey, we're on this call." And then I looked at, my meetings and it popped up and I was, a little bit confused, but I was like, I'll join in so I could listen in to hear what everybody else was hearing. And yeah, that's basically how I found out. We're very confused. For me, I've been with the service for many years. So at first I didn't think it applied, but then my supervisor then told me, yeah, I was on this list of people who were let go.
As federal workers continue to be laid off, Governor Josh Green signed an executive order yesterday to expedite state hiring. The targeted outreach initiative is called Operation Hire Hawaii. The order directs state agencies to review candidates and make a conditional job offer within 14 days of receiving an individual's applications. Candidates who apply through Operation Hire Hawaii will be referred immediately to hiring agencies. We have a link to that hiring website at ours at hawaiinewsnow.com. Just look for the As Seen on Sunrise tab. Though we talked to some federal workers who say they're a little skeptical. They know that sometimes the state can take a long time to hire people. They hope that the governor is true to his word when he says he's trying to expedite the process. Reporting at the federal building, I'm Casey Lund for Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Case. The parole board says child sex offender Ruben Lela will have to serve at least 10 years of his 20-year sentence before he can request an early release. Last year, the disgraced Kona psychiatrist, who's in his early 70s, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of sex assault with a 14-year-old patient. When Lela was in court in May, he apologized for, quote, the hurt that I caused. But even then, the judge wasn't buying it, saying that was a breach of trust and it was deep and severe and will have long-lasting effects for the child. A judge sentenced a Honolulu man to 12.5 years in federal prison yesterday on child porn and other charges. 31-year-old Jonathan Farr received explicit content from 2 girls on the mainland, shared that content, and tried to meet them in person. Farr must also pay those girls $3,000 each, and he's awaiting a state trial for allegedly sexually assaulting a minor nearly 10 years ago. The former executive director of the Conservation Council for Hawaii, Moana O'Eo Burge, is charged with multiple counts of computer fraud and theft. Prosecutors say through unauthorized payments and withdrawals, she took more than $81,000. She turned herself in this past weekend.
And happy Wednesday, everybody. Over the past couple of days, we've been watching the high surf out there on north and west facing shores. We still have high surf advisories up for the north and west facing shores of Kauai, Oahu, Molokai, the north facing shores of Maui, and also the Kona coast of Hawaii Island. These are going to continue until 6 p.m. this evening. And just breaking down the actual numbers in your surf and shoreline forecast, 10 to 15 feet on north facing shores, west facing shores a little bit smaller, still on the decline. This is for this afternoon. A small reinforcing swell is going to be moving in throughout Thursday. You can actually see that in our swell forecast. We're on the decline throughout the rest of Wednesday. A little bit of a bump throughout Thursday to reinforce those north and west facing shores. Another swell for north and west facing shores is going to move in this weekend. I'll give you a full breakdown on this and take you island by island coming up.
Thank you, Drew. More modular homes for wildfire survivors will be taken to Lahaina tonight through Friday. That could lead to traffic delays along the route from Kahului. The Hawaii Department of Transportation says hauling will begin at 8 tonight and then 9:30 p.m. the following night. 6 trucks will caravan along Kahului Beach Road to Lahaina. Staging begins this morning, which could lead to some additional delays on Kahului Beach Road starting later this morning.
At the urging of the Trump administration, corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams could be dismissed. I'm Bradley Blackburn with what happened in federal court today and how the governor could still force the mayor out of office.
Also ahead on This Is Now, Hawaii Pacific University now has a campus in Las Vegas. We'll take you to the grand opening in 2 minutes. It's now up to a federal judge in New York whether to drop a 5-count federal indictment against Mayor Eric Adams. The case has consumed both City Hall and the U.S. Justice Department. Bradley Blackburn reports from New York.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams entered the courthouse where a federal judge will decide whether his corruption case goes to trial. Justice Department lawyers have asked to dismiss the charges so the mayor can devote his attention to carrying out President Trump's immigration policies. Judge Dale Ho asked Mayor Adams if he agreed that those charges could be reinstated at a later date, to which Adams said yes. Speaking for the Justice Department, Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove told the judge that's correct, but, quote, "I don't have any plans for that at this time." Critics say the Trump administration's intervention in the case means Adams will be under the president's thumb. 8 federal prosecutors have resigned in protest, and 4 of Adams' deputies say they're stepping down.
There has never been a leadership vacuum like this at New York City Hall in living memory.
Protesters are calling for Adams to step down, but he has resisted, saying his loyalty is to New Yorkers.
The reason I'm not going to break, because I need to fight for you. They want to fight me, I'm going to fight for you.
Governor Kathy Hochul met with other city leaders on Tuesday. She has the power to remove Adams from office, but has hesitated to act, saying it would be undemocratic. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Here at home, the public has chosen its preferred designs for the long-awaited Alawai pedestrian bridge connecting Waikiki with Mo'iliili. These are the top 5 out of 19 design ideas presented by the city's Department of Transportation at a public stakeholder meeting in November. A new report now available online details how each of these configurations was rated. The proposed Alapono Bridge will connect from Kalaimoku Street on the Makai side to University Avenue on the Mauka side. The final design will be chosen once environmental clearances are secured, possibly later this year. You can find the full report from the stakeholder meeting on our website, hawaiinewsnow.com. Hawaii Pacific University expands to Sin City. HPU celebrated the grand opening of its Las Vegas campus yesterday with a traditional Hawaiian blessing and a ribbon-cutting ceremony. This is the university's first campus outside of Hawaii in its 60-year history. The new campus features industry-specific health sciences programs with degrees in occupational therapy and physical therapy.
So why Las Vegas? Las Vegas really is the perfect partner to launch our new programs. Las Vegas is one of the nation's fastest growing metropolitan areas with a big need for healthcare, and that's really going to be the focus of our programs out here in Las Vegas. There's also in Las Vegas a big connection to Hawaii.
The new campus welcomed its first students last year through a hybrid learning program. Hey, Drew.
Hey Ashley, stick around. Coming up after the break, I'll walk you through our first alert weather headlines and also show you what we've got throughout the rest of this day.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
Well, good evening, everybody, or good afternoon. Sorry, I'm getting my times mixed up. Let's take a look at our First Alert weather headlines. Of course, we've got a lot of sunshine in the forecast and some high surf over the next couple of days as well. We'll be on the decline by the time we get to really this weekend. Another swell should move in as well. Let's take a look at our hour-by-hour forecast. Right now outside, relatively nice. We're seeing temperatures around 83 degrees, northeasterly winds around 13 miles per hour, and we're expanding this out. You'll actually see that we're in the green, seeing fair weather across the rest of this afternoon and evening. Temperatures getting down to around 79 degrees right before sunset and 76 degrees by 8 p.m. And let's go island by island, just showing you what we're expecting over the next couple of days, or at least through Thursday. Over on Kauai, we've got isolated showers possible before noon and mostly sunny conditions. Light winds will become more easterly in the afternoon. Here on Oahu, it'll be sunny and breezy, 84 in town, 82 in Kaneohe tomorrow, and Maui County sunny and breezy as well. Easterlies between 10 to 15 miles per hour, sometimes gusting a little bit closer to 20 miles per hour. Kahului around 83 degrees, and moving over to Hawaii Island, isolated morning showers and mostly sunny. And then taking a look at the Hilo side, some scattered showers, mostly scattered, and some cloud cover as well. And then the northern portions of Hawaii Island will be mostly sunny and breezy. Easterly winds between 10 to 20 miles per hour. Just giving you a quick look at our First Alert radar and satellite. A couple of showers out there, mostly relatively light and over windward areas. You can see a little bit of rainfall moving in towards the southeastern portions of Hawaii Island. Some light rainfall over near Hana, and over on Oahu, we are seeing some light showers in town and along the Ko'olau as well. And Kauai has been relatively quiet over the last hour. A quick look at your First Alert weather pattern over the next couple of days. A couple of windward and Mauka showers are possible, drier throughout Thursday and Friday. And off to our northwest, there's a weak front that's going to approach that's not going to get to us. It should just give us lighter winds, so a couple of pop-up showers are possible throughout the weekend. Really nice weather over the next couple of days, really about a 10% chance for rain throughout the rest of this week. Sunny, light trade winds between 5 to 15 miles per hour. And some of our low temperatures around 69, 68 degrees, so a little bit cooler over the next couple of days. It was definitely very humid across the entire state these past couple of mornings, especially as you're waking up. Of course, stick with us on the Hawaii News Now First Alert Weather app for any updates.
Thank you, Drew. Still to come, a new flavored lip balm is bringing new meaning to the term French kiss. We'll explain in 2 minutes. Okay, let's end the show with some good news. Tennessee's Nashville Zoo introduced its newest resident, look at this guy, a fluffy Scottish Highland calf named Hamish, to social media with adorable footage of the 7-week-old cow dashing around his enclosure. The zoo made a punny announcement on social media. Heard the news, meet Hamish. At almost 7 weeks old, he's already moving at top speed with some serious zoomies on his first day out. Well, if you really love French fries, and who doesn't, listen up.
The Idaho Potato Commission created a special item for Valentine's Day, and it was so popular it sold out in 48 hours. It's the Kiss of French, a French fried flavored lip balm.
Yum.
It's made with real mashed potatoes blended into a hydrating formula that softens lips with a subtle French fry essence. This is the Commission's second viral beauty meets food creation. The first was a French fry scented perfume that almost sold out in record time.
Interesting. And check this out. A couple in New Orleans celebrated their wedding at an unlikely venue. So it's a heart-shaped pothole that's been crumbling into the street for a decade. It sounds a little silly on the surface, but if you think about it, it's really sweet. So how it all got started was the bride and groom responded to an Instagram contest sponsored by a page that highlights busted roads. They won the contest and a free wedding on the condition they get hitched at the pothole, so they decided to go all in on the theme. They say the venue, standing literally on holy ground, is a great way to represent building a new foundation for a lasting love and a reminder to go gentle over life's speed bumps.
It looks like a heart if you really think about it.
Yeah, very interesting.
I do like the traffic cone decorations. Like I saw a traffic cone headband. It looked pretty cool.
That's right. All right, one last look outside as we say goodbye on This Is Now. More news first at 4 right here on KHNL.